Head into the unknown, down the rabbit hole, where it stops no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hello.
Hello. I did the T part. I'm so I copied you.
Hello. You did it with like an accent, it's like you're from London.
I did the other version.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Friday night here on Criminality with my lovely Michelle, mi amor, Michelle.
Hi, guys.
We are the Avengers now. We're the Avengers now. Hi, Drew. Hi, Delana. Hi, Shay. Hi, Connie. Miss W. Liza. I'm like saying everything wrong now because I want to talk like I'm from London.
But go like this.
I sound like you're from London, so I'm good. Hi, Connie and Miss W.
I'm so like I'm happy Jen Lou's here because I want her take towards the end of this on the juvenile situation. I'll keep it there for right now.
I hopped on Jen Lou's panel last night and we kind of talked about it a little bit. So, hi, Peyton. Hi, Melmac.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Tracy. Hi, Mallory, my love. RJ. Hi, Jane Doe. Hi, Dominic. BR the star, my love. Hi, Tia. Steffi. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Dan.
It's Christy Camp. Hi, it's Christy Camp.
Christy. Oh, how are you?
Let me see if I missed anybody. Hi, Jessica.
My boy Joe.
True crime. Hello. Hi, Margaret. I don't know. See, now you're going to want me. Like, I want to talk with accents, but I'm screwing them all up.
You see me and you trying to pull this off?
Texas, half the UK. I don't even know anymore. Hi, Kate.
I can't see. Everybody's skipping on my end.
Well, I scrolled like way up. So if anybody just came in and is saying hi to me, then I'm just like, I scrolled up.
I hit everybody down. You hit everybody in between. Just hit everybody. Punksy.
ATS. Hi, ATS. So, hi, Commander Ender Turkey.
Love.
I know. I love his name. I love that name. Alibi. Hi, Alibi.
Alibi.
Okay.
Hi,
Queen. The Queen is in the house. Now all we need is Princess Megan Elsa to arrive, and we shall be ready to go. I feel like I'm going to be playing a game of Clue.
Ooh, Queen Bee.
Catherine. I see you go.
We jinx on that one.
Carolina.
We have to sing the Roxanne. Hopefully she'll come in. Hey, Connie.
Roxanne. I always feel like well that everybody sings that to her in her life. Like,
oh yeah, she's tortured.
Like, I got it now already. You don't need to do it, but I can't help it. I try not to do it when she comes in the chat every time, but in my head I always do it.
We have to do it.
I do. Roxanne. It's just like one of those things.
Yep, it just goes with it. Hey, Steffi. Aries Park. So bring your weed to see Ant-Man. I'm done. I can't.
Ant-Man. I know my son wants to go see it. Ant-Man 3. All right. Well, I am very excited. What is it? I'm a royal pain in the ass. Does that count? Tia Dash from the Decipher podcast. is a royal pain in the ass. The arse. There you go.
And here is LFT
LFT.
2. I have to move that. I have one light that sits over this, and I feel like it blinds me every time. I'm like, I don't know what I did today. It's like my little eyeball.
I turned my tea teal. I turned my tea teal for Tristan. Oh, look at that! It's for Tristan too.
It is for
It's all
Tristan.
tea. Aw.
Tea Tristan, which is her favorite color.
Aw.
We'll learn very soon.
All right, so I'm excited to be able to present, or to have my lovely Amor Michelle present the Tristyn Bailey case, as Aiden Fucci is starting. His trial will be starting next week. Jury selection is on Monday. And I was excited to see today that it actually is going to be on Court TV. I believe, and Jen Lou, I don't want to speak out of turn, that she might be covering the trial on her channel. So if you're into watching the trials and you like to hang out and chat while you do it, then Jen Lou's channel is awesome. The Ward Case Studies. Hi, sweet Melissa.
Please, if Amma can drop Jen Lou's channel, because I know I'll be over there catching it for sure. I want Jen's whole take on this.
She's like, should I cover it? I'm like, hell yeah, you should cover it.
Hey, Kate.
And then sweet Melissa said, I was Sweet Caroline for months, then found out there were at least 4 of us.
Oh,
there is a lot of Sweet Carolines, because I do sing that one too. I'm like, sweet.
You sing that
too. Yep. Okay. I didn't want to speak out of turn. So yes.
Sweet Melissa.
It's going to be very interesting. Hi, Shmita. So,
Shmita. Jane Doe.
Michelle has done an amazing job putting this together. So we had a couple technical difficulties getting it up. Edit. Rewind. We had a couple technical difficulties bringing it onto the screen correctly.
That's it. It's fine.
That's it. That's
it.
That's other stuff. So it threw me all the way off. But I'm excited that she's able to present this case to you guys, so you guys can have all the information that you need or may have forgotten, or maybe you haven't followed the case. You'll get all of it kind of in one stop shop. And if you don't know Tristan's case, she's a beautiful young girl from Florida. So I'm going to let Michelle share with you guys as I control this stuff over here.
Teresa's going to play with the slides and the videos and all that fun
Try
stuff.
to keep my accents to a minimum.
Together. Okay. So, of course, you guys know we're covering the case of Tristyn Bailey and Aiden Fucci. It's such a sad case that I actually wanted to play half of the memorial, but I know if even 5 minutes of it's played, none of us will be able to get through this case, especially me. So we'll say that towards the end. But
hi, Salty.
Salty C, how are you? So Tristan was a 7th grader who went to Patriot Oaks High School. She attended school with Aiden. Aiden is in a grade above her, and they weren't known to hang out every day. And technically, Tristan was not part of. Aiden didn't really have a circle of friends, but Aiden had a few friends, and Aiden also had a girlfriend. And Tristan was connected a couple ways. There are a few children involved in this case, so I want to be very careful, because I know the report did mention all of their names, but I think just for the sake of them being children, I'm just going to refer to them as Child D and whatnot. But there is another friend that's involved in all of this, and they were connected through that kid. He would be the kid that was sitting in the car with Tristan when he was placed in the back of the cop car, if that helps. So we're going to play one of the slides. Just give me 1 second.
You tell me what you want, where I'm going, and I'm here at your command.
You got it, baby. In 1 second, because I want to pull up Jason's. Okay.
Am I going to the timeline?
Yeah.
Okay, you can tell me what line?
Yeah, go to.
She's got the memorial video right here.
Actually, you know what? Say, why don't you play the first? Just play mom and dad's portion of the memorial, please.
Do you know where it is?
It's in the very beginning. In the timeline it says Friday, May 7th. All you have to do is click.
Hold on. I'm working on it. I don't know where it went. I lost it in the computers.
Okay, take your time.
You guys can all hear this okay? Let me know.
You guys amaze us, and the outpour of love from our community is breathtaking, and we cannot thank you enough for that. I had to write a speech down. I've winged it the past 2 times I've had to speak, but I wasn't sure how I'd do today, and I had to write it in big print because I wasn't sure I could see it on my phone. Stage. So today I had a really hard time, and this morning I went into Tristan's room and I went there to cootle because that's what she always asked, and I just wanted to try to be close to her and be next to her. My heart is broken and it is devastated, but I made a promise to her today that I was going to keep her memory alive. I was going to make her name shine above all the evil that has happened and from the goodness that has poured out from her friends, our families, our community, and across the world. I make that promise that I will do something good in her name. For those of you that were blessed to personally know her, you know what an amazing and fiery personality she had, and you can attest that she was the kind of friend that you would like to have, and she always had your back. Tristan's determination to be front and center was evident the day that she was born because she was the loudest one in the nursery. She was the only blonde one in the nursery, and she was just, here I am. She had a drive in her soul to be the best and always give 100% to achieve her goals. A small story about her drive is when we put Tristan in swimming, thinking that this was an amazing sport and a life skill. And while she liked it, it was not her passion, so she moved on to lacrosse. Let's talk about that. The realization that it's really, really hot in the outdoors in Florida. And this is not her thing either. But boy, did she want to cheer. I personally could not bear the thought of going back into the cheer and dance world, as I knew the time and commitment that it took for me coaching cheer and her older siblings spending up to 6 hours a day at the cheer gym or the dance studios. But Tristan was determined to prove to me that she was going to be a cheerleader whether I liked it or not. From teaching herself how to do her splits, her back bends, her back walkovers, just to prove to me how much she wanted to be a cheerleader, I caved. And so it began. This is where her passion and drive grew to be the best she could be. Over the past couple of years, Tristan was always on all-star cheer and in school cheer. This year, she shared team captain on her POA cheer team with one of her besties. It was a huge goal for her. As our all-star cheer family knows, Summit and Worlds is your goal. Tristan's ultimate goal was to be in one of these. While at Zone All-Star Cheer, her team achieved getting that bid, but it was sadly taken away from COVID. This past year, Tristan had switched gyms to Infinity All-Stars, and she became more determined than ever to make that goal happen. These girls from Majesty worked so hard and developed a bond that is unbreakable. They won their UCA cheer competition, and that dream came alive as they got the bid to compete at Summit. Tristan, you did it. You met your goal. Her drive and passion did not stop there. When she would come home after school, I was always given the tea of the day, and a lot of it because she had a lot to say. She spilled a lot of tea. I would sit here in amazement listening to some of her stories, and I learned she was the kind of friend that I would like to have. She always defended those who could not defend themselves. Some of you may not know it, but she was very sensitive, and she never wanted to disappoint anyone. Tristan cared deeply for her friends and always wanted to have as many friends as she could. And oh my goodness, she was so funny, you guys, so funny. She could be a silly teenager, but could have heart-to-hearts with an adult like she was an adult. And I think that she truly forgot that they were my friends too. She tried to take them over. She was an honor roll student, determined to succeed academically, going as far as taking her first high school credit online this year just to get ahead in school. There are so many things I could share about this sweet girl, and in the future I will. Her TikTok, that's my squad, and you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us, because we are family. That holds true to every aspect in her life. We are forever changed as a family, but we will always be the Bailey 7. For now, I will follow what Tristan has always said. Get it together. You got this, Mom. Always and forever, my cheerleader and my sweet baby girl.
Okay, so we got
That's tough.
that one hurts. That one hurts. Dad comes in after that, and he lightens it up a little bit as he can.
I'll listen to that one in a minute. I can't do too much at the same time.
As you could tell, Tristan was a very, very, very special girl. My voice shakes when I speak this case, but we're going to get through this one. Tristan, as you could tell, was a very, very, very special girl. She was extremely loved. She worked very hard. She was extremely, extremely driven and dedicated to anything that she wanted to do, especially cheer. As you can see, her mama was a cheer coach. They kind of come from that world, and she just kind of wanted to follow in that footsteps. Her older sister was still on one of the cheer squads as well. Her older sister had competed before, and she just wanted to prove that she was just like them. She was known to teach herself things very, very early. She was very self-efficient and very, she worked hard for whatever she wanted. And it's at that age is semi-rare. At the same time, I don't want to give too much light on Aiden's background for the simple fact we only have so much to go off of. And I do think that when a child of that age commits something as horrific as this, that there has to be so much more behind that. And none of us on this panel are, I know I couldn't sit here and be able to go through exactly the why behind all of that. So we went back a little bit on family history, and if you follow this case, Jason Fucci, Aiden Fucci's father. I'd say if you want to go to slide 6, it might be a little out of order. One more, I think. There you go. Yeah. So this is Jason Fucci. This is Aiden's father. Jason has some charges from 2003 and 2016. He was sentenced to 2 years the first time, and then later jailed for 14 months after violating the conditions. He spent time in jail for child abuse in 2003, and then 2016, he was booked for battery after he got into a fight with another couple at a gas station while Aiden was there. Aiden apparently had experienced a lot of things when the breakup occurred between him and his mother, Crystal Smith, who we'll learn a little bit more about later. It seems Aiden's past and child life, Aiden started out as a very, very, his imagination could run wild. And just like Tristan, he was very, very afraid to disappoint. And I think as time went on in his life, and this is just my opinion from looking into a lot of these documents and things like that, that in that time of watching some of the things that his father was doing and the new life that his mother was beginning to have, and he didn't want to fall back from that it created a lot of anger inside. As we go on, you'll hear you'll hear the two people in Aiden's life pretty much say the same thing. So basically, Aiden was he was a trouble kid, and that trouble intensified over the years, and either parents did not pick up on it, family didn't pick up on it, school faculty. There were friends that knew little things, but to be able to depend on another 14 or 13-year-old to pick up on things like that that's hard. It's hard for them to judge a friend. So that's why it makes me go back to Jason and his extensive rap sheet, so to speak, and where Aiden could have seen a lot of this behavior and think that some of this was okay. And then that just had built up over time. So we're going to skip to May 7th of 2021. One of the last of Tristan's friends spoke to her. She said that Tristan was in very high spirits. She was happy to be learning a new routine, that she had a couple new TikTok dances down that she was excited about and they were talking about, and that she would, talk to her later on TikTok. We go into Saturday night. Around 8 p.m., Aiden arrives at his friend's. We're going to call him Friend D for now. He was going over to skateboard in the driveway for a little while and hang out in the basement. His friend was suspended from school, so he was punished, and Aiden was not supposed to be there. No one was supposed to be there. Around 10:39-ish, Tristyn had sent a bunch of streak messages through her Snapchat to a bunch of her friends. Streaks is something, and I had to learn this from my daughter. Streaks is something that it's almost like a check-in with your friends every day, and it's the point is to keep up with the streaks, and you get the number of the streak as it goes. So let's say Tristyn was streaking with 7, 8 other people every day. When she did her streak, she would add a number to it, like 38 or 39 as the days went on. And then that would be the thing to see how long the two friends or the group of friends could streak together, I guess. So
are you saying streak?
Well, they call it streaks on Snapchat, but she wasn't physically streaking.
Okay, because I'm like, oh, that's definitely something that's changed since I was a child, or when I was younger. But streaking was not something that we did on the daily. One, and we
I
never
had to get that explained to me.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, so they streaked.
So they streaked on Snapchat. We'll just make sure we add Snapchat in there so we know what that is. And that was kind of her last set of communication with her set of friends. So that was around 10:39. At 10:40, Tristan sends another message later to find out that it was believed to be to Aiden. or responding back to Aiden, I'm sorry. And around 11:30 that night, friend D invites Tristan over to hang out and smoke CBD, marijuana. You know, there was an argument that night between friend D and Aiden over CBD not getting one high versus marijuana getting the other. In between this time, friend D and Aiden have a conversation about Tristan, and it's basically told then that Aiden had a little crush on Tristan, but Aiden has a girlfriend. And all during this time, as friend D believes Aiden is texting or calling Tristan, he's now on the phone with another girl. And Aiden in that time hits the end button on the phone and then has friend D call Tristan to come back over. So where they say that there was another girl that was supposed to be there that night, there was actually supposed to be 2 other girls there that night. One was supposed to be one of the friends of Tristan, and then there was another girl that friend D was talking to, and he was reaching out.
Did they not show up?
Well, when Aiden hit the end button on that phone call, because if the one girl would have showed up, it would have messed everything up for Tristan showing up.
Okay.
After looking through the socials, I believe the one girl was the connection to Aiden's actual girlfriend. And
he didn't want her there because he wanted Tristan there.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And I think he had such a close connection to his girlfriend, so he thought that as we go a little further, we'll see. But he, I think that's where a lot of this played into when he just had his freak out moment on Tristan. I think she may have threatened at some point to maybe tell his girlfriend, because they weren't friends, and his girlfriend said she had no clue of Tristan at all. Meaning of Aiden having any feelings for Tristan.
Okay.
So now we get to 11:45 that night. The Bailey family returns. They were out having a celebration for their other child. They went to dinner, and then they visited their oldest child's home. Tristan was posting videos and resharing her memories. They had a great time at dinner, and everything seemed to be fine with Tristan. Tristan didn't appear to be depressed, sad, anything of the sort. She had a great time at her sister's house. Everything was good. Around midnight, Tristan was last known to be seen by one of her siblings, and she was supposed to be going to bed. She happened to text with her brother at a certain time around that time, and she did reply back to him. At some point when Tristan's sister was talking to her right before bed, she saw her one more time, and she saw her on the phone with a kid wearing a backwards white baseball cap on like a video chat type of thing. She also believed that her sister was wearing her white sheer skirt and dark shorts. So around midnight, there is a neighbor close to friend D's house that described seeing Tristan. Around 12:30, video footage shows Tristan walking towards friend D's house. Now, mind you, excuse me, she was hanging out with another friend prior to going to friend D's house to hang out with Aiden. They all attend the same school.
Okay, so they're all at this friend's house, at friend D's house. They're hanging out.
They're hanging out. They're according to Aiden, they're smoking. They're chit chatting and
cigarettes or smoking doobies.
Smoking. Well, he claimed CBD because it didn't get him high. So I don't think they call them doobs. Not, you guys might have to school us in chat, but I think we're all old, so we don't know. But these kids call it all different things these days. But so I know that had became a thing between Aiden and friend D, and it kind of annoyed friend D a little bit, and he was kind of hoping that Aiden would leave, and that's pretty much eventually what happened. Tristan and Aiden end up leaving his house around 1 a.m. Around 1:11, Aiden calls friend D. They don't say why and as
The
to
house
why.
he just left. He calls him. The house he just left.
Right. Which is kind of odd because it was 11 minutes later. And at this point, Tristan is still alive.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if the girlfriend kind of comes in here and he maybe called the friend to see if the girlfriend called him and to check to see if he was there. Like he had the clearance to leave with Tristan, if that makes sense. So around 1:14, Tristan and Aiden, they're seen walking together. They base all of this again on the time frame, the clothing description, the
Tristyn Bailey.
there we go, right there. So basically, Tristan and Aiden are walking away from friend D's house. You could play that clip, Tay.
Okay.
In the hours before her death. This is the newly released evidence in the case against the teen charged with killing the St. Johns County teenager. The sheriff's office released those surveillance videos today as part of the investigation into Bailey's murder.
And they also shared footage from 14-year-old Aiden Fucci's home. Investigators say it's evidence in the case against him. News4Jax reporter Bree Isom talked with a local lawyer about this newly released evidence. Bree?
I did, and he says that this will be a long investigation, but he did say that this home surveillance video probably really helped in this investigation. This video at 12:15 a.m. on May 9th shows two people believed to be teens walking east on Saddlestone Drive. As to whether or not that is Aiden Fucci and Tristyn Bailey in this video, that is not confirmed. This was on Mother's Day, the same day investigators say Tristyn Bailey was found dead. The St. Johns County Sheriff's Office investigators say this video shows Fucci running at 1:52 in the morning, so over an hour after two teens were spotted walking in the neighborhood. John Holzbauer, a law partner at the offices of Randy Reep, is not affiliated with this case, but looked over the surveillance video with me.
It's going to continue to take time. They're going to have to build this literally minute by minute.
Another video at 3:31 a.m. shows a boy walking to a door barefoot with a pair of shoes. Another shows what appears to be the same person walking up to the house. Just about 12 hours after Fucci was spotted running in the street, we see his mother, Crystal Smith, wash what investigators say are blue jeans. The arrest report states the jeans tested positive for blood. It also states the sink in the bathroom where we see Smith washing the jeans also tested positive for blood. Smith has been charged with evidence tampering in connection with this case.
Does that mean someone's trying to conceal evidence? That's a mother doing her son's laundry. At least that's what we see right now, just from the video without the added audio.
Holzbauer says all of the individuals in the house, which we have blurred, will be interviewed for detectives to discover what was actually said and done in the household that day.
How long do these cases usually take to work on it?
I wouldn't be surprised if this case is well over a year.
So you can kind of see in that footage where the description of the clothing comes in and how they were able to. And I purposely picked a clip from more or less the beginning of this case so that we could see how they built the case as they went on. So around 1:27, that same video shows subject walking west from the pond carrying a can't get that out, distinguishable pair of white shoes with a black Nike swoosh. At 1:43, a female matching Tristan's description, wearing all black with blonde hair, standing in the road in front of his house. His house meaning the neighbor's house.
So this is confusing to me right here.
Go ahead.
I don't understand. So she's still alive at 1:43 in the morning?
Yep. This I based all this timeline from this night. Everything is based off of the incident reports.
Yeah, so I know a couple people have asked in chat. Yeah, she snuck out of her house.
Yes.
House.
Yeah. She snuck out around, I believe it was
12:15, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Around 12 o'clock was her siblings. One of her siblings had last seen her, and she had a text with her brother around that time. And she's believed to have snuck out the house. Okay, so let's go.
I allegedly innocent. I just want to say hi to I did Jules, and I'm loving your coverage on Murdoch, FYI. Murdoch.
Oh, wait, I didn't see anybody. Hold on. Hi, guys. I'm so sorry. Hey, Pointer. Peach Jam, I'm so, I'm thankful that you're going to that trial. I would like to exchange information so we can share some notes.
I stay at home mom detective.
I love that name.
Okay, so 1:43 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
somebody matching Tristan's description is seen standing in the road in front of Aiden's house.
No, in front, and it's in front of a redacted
Friend
name's
D's.
house.
In friend D's house?
No, it must be one of the neighbors because they redacted the name.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so on surveillance, she's seen standing out in front of the person's house that has the surveillance.
Right. They grabbed
Gotcha.
multiple surveillance. I mean, if, surveillance footages from different streets, different houses. They actually had a ton of footage, and then they got.
Is this more footage, or is this the same video?
This is the only footage that they have actually released, but they have more. They have basically the entire trail.
Okay, so they're seen walking almost back and forth at first, which I guess for me, I didn't realize. I thought only her walking one way, probably because I watched that clip. I thought it was just them walking one way together and then him running home. But now I'm realizing that no, that's not what it is.
And when we can share the Earth presentation, you'll kind of see where everything pings. And I was very confused there too. But when you actually look at that, it actually ends up all making sense. And that maybe to me, the reason why it looked like they might have been going back and forth was because they might have been trying to, or he may have been trying to extend that walk home. So they may have went this route, that route, this route. And that's how they ended up like kind of back and forth, so to speak. Because if you see the layouts of the communities,
okay,
she wasn't in hers.
Okay. I'll bring that up so we can kind of get a better idea of what we're talking about then. Hi, allegedly.
Hey, allegedly. How are you?
Salty C, you grew up here. You were saying that the memorial was at your old church.
I know. That's
crazy.
And that family really is. We see a lot of awesome families, but let me tell you something. They really rock as a unit. The Bailey 7, and every one of them gave a speech.
I love that they're the Bailey 7, no
Me
matter
too.
what.
I think that is so, like, being a mom and he's seeing a hashtag like that is just so. Oh.
Yeah, I think they got her with tampering with evidence.
Mm-hmm.
I have to double check her charges, but her trial's in April. So, and his trial starts, or jury selection is on Monday.
Yep.
Celebration Church. That's crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this map real quick and see.
All right, T.
You have to tell me which one am I going to. So this is it on here where they're walking?
Yeah, go.
This is the neighbor. This is friend D's house.
Yep.
This is the neighbor's house that catches her on surveillance.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is this the one? Is this the same camera right here that? Now,
mind you, the one camera's not in there because we don't have his address. We don't have that.
So that's why I'm asking. Is this the camera that shows the two of them walking one direction, and then this is that camera?
Yep.
So the other camera that we're talking about right now at 143, that has a female matching Tristan's description standing in front of his house, is the address we don't have, so we don't know where it is.
Right.
But we know it's got to be somewhere in this vicinity because they don't leave here.
Yep. The name and address for some reason too is redacted because they had put out 3 or 4 other addresses that they did obtain footage from, but nothing actually came from that footage. Maybe that's why, like, there was like little angles, but nothing much from it.
Okay. And yes, it is going to be televised. I know Court TV is doing it. I don't know if Law and Crime is. So, and I don't know how long jury selection will take. They're only picking 6 jurors. So because it's not a death penalty case, and in Florida you can do 6 or 12, and so the prosecutors wanted to do 6, and defense wanted 12, but they got denied. Okay, so this is friend D's house.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the neighbor that we just watched the footage of. I just want to make sure I'm clear on this before I move on.
Yep.
And then there is another neighbor. This is where Tristan lives.
Yep.
This is Tristan's house. This is friend D's house.
Now, as you can see, she's
You have
not in her community.
on
She's
here?
in the next community over.
Is Aiden's house on here?
Yeah, Aiden should be on there too. He's at the very top though, because he's a little further away.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Oh, he's up here. Okay. I got you. Okay. So there's another neighbor in somewhere in this vicinity that also sees them on camera and has this 145.
Yeah.
Wait, no, 143. I was right the first time. Surveillance that we've not seen as the public.
Right. Okay, if you minus that a little bit, like make it like to where you can see the map, yeah, maybe the pings will make more sense. Can you guys see that okay?
I need to zoom in on it. So I wanted to zoom in and see how close everything kind of was.
Oh, okay. Now everything you see in teal is Tristan in this part of the map. And the other part of the map is where she actually lived, but she was not in her community. She was at the community over. So everything you see in this community where there's teal is where Tristan was discovered, her phone was discovered, and then where the knife was eventually discovered.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Kate, if you want, I can send you all of this if you want, and you can add and do your thing to it if you are happening to cover this. Because there are a few more addresses that I would like to get a hold of and plug those pings into it too.
Okay. We can work on that. Well, I'm sure by next week we might have some of them. So
I'm hoping.
Okay. So we got the 143. She's seen on this unknown addresses surveillance.
Right. And then at 145, Tristan and Aiden are seen walking east on Saddle.
So they're walking back.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think that the argument, it was definitely a flirtatious type of thing. And it backs up friend D's story that we'll eventually get to, but it definitely backs up his story. The way it looks is they walk up, they walk semi back, they walk back around again, and then they come back around again before eventually
Are they just walking?
coming out. What is it?
Are they just out for a walk? Are they just walking together at this point?
Well, apparently friend D no longer wanted to smoke. They still wanted to. I have a hard time saying that Tristan wanted to smoke and do X, Y, and Z because we don't actually know that. We're going off of what Kit said, but according to friend D, that those two still wanted to smoke, so that's why
Aiden did, and whatever.
Right, and Aiden was looking to hook up.
Well, that's not what gets anybody killed. So,
and I believe Aiden was trying to hook up with her that night
right now,
too.
at 13, I was walking my neighborhood smoking cigarettes.
Right. I mean, we strolled all over. So for me, seeing them go all different types of ways makes sense, but it also adds up to maybe where either he was trying to prolong that walk, or even maybe she was prolonging that walk. You know, who's to say she didn't like Aiden back, or, you know, we just know that her mental going into it from the 7th and the 8th, she was in a really good mood. She's like that. She was fine to her family.
Gotcha. Okay. So it makes sense. So now we see them, they're walking, and then we see them walking the opposite direction. So they're out walking around.
Right. They're strolling that entire little community
I'm
over.
Very curious though, why in this video at 127, he carrying his shoes when he's still carrying his shoes later when we see him running?
What I do know from the report is he tells his parents that his feet hurt, and that was the reason. But the timing of it all doesn't make sense to me.
Which is weird that it's not like he took them off later, which is in my head what I always assumed.
Right.
He was walking with them off at 127 already.
On the street. Like, I mean,
Hi,
that would stick out anyway. Hey, Brittles, what's up?
He comes back, skipping back, running back alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So running and carrying shoes, but he's apparently also walking and carrying shoes earlier in the evening. Mm-hmm. So he's had his shoes off for a really long time.
Yep. And he tells his parents that they hurt. Yes, exactly.
Oh,
right,
God.
Kate, exactly.
My daughter's in 6th grade. I know. I just keep telling myself like, oh, what is she gonna do that I did? And please don't do that.
You're like, I remember me.
I'm like, don't do it.
Oh, you don't even know what I do to my daughter now, like, especially because she's 17 and then she's turning 18 soon. So she thinks she has this, like, you know, this freedom pass soon. I'm like, yeah, okay.
You keep thinking that. Go ahead and keep thinking that.
I'm going to stalk you for life. Okay. So
Okay,
we get
so he's carrying the shoes. And then we see him on video running back towards his home, carrying the shoes still.
carrying the shoes. Now at 3:29, another video picks up Aiden heading opposite direction alone, again carrying the white Nike shoes, and then it also shows Aiden entering his home carrying the Nike shoes.
Okay,
Around
so
3:32. Give me 1 second.
he enters his house. That's when he goes home.
Oh, that's when he actually goes into the house. I'm sorry.
Right? Is 3:32?
Yeah. Well, 3:29 is when he's appearing on the video, and then 3:32.
That's when he's walking up. We see him walk up the sidewalk.
Exactly, and then 3:32 is when he's entering his house. I
Gotcha.
confused my own notes.
Hi, NorCal Jim.
Hey, NorCal Jim, how are you?
Okay, so 3:32 is when he arrives home.
Yep, it's when he officially opens up his door. Okay. Now we'll go back over some other things that happened, but we're going to kind of skip to 9:40 of that next morning. Well, it would be of that morning, which it's Sunday, Mother's Day, May 9th.
This is
Excuse me.
fucking terrible.
So
sad.
This part I'm not, this just because it all just kind of unfolds here, and yeah. So Tristan's siblings wanted to make breakfast for their mom. They let Tristan sleep in a little later than everybody else. So they thought, especially because they knew she was up later from the night before. And around 9:40, they go to wake Tristan up, and she's not in her room. They searched the house for about 20 minutes. They searched the surrounding outside of the house. And then by 10 a.m., Tristan's mom's on the phone with 911. They're at her house immediately, but at 10:59, the St. John's Police Department posted to their Facebook asking for help in finding Tristan. Right after that, Deputy Maloney is instructed to take over the case, and he heads on over to meet with Stacy, which is Tristan's mother. 1 second, guys, here. Then shortly after that, Deputy Maloney ends up meeting with friend D. He lets Deputy know that Aiden and Tristan was at his house the night before and what time Aiden had left. He also said that Tristan came to his house, but she snuck around the north side of the house to avoid the security cameras of his residence. How
did they know that she had gone to this friend D's house?
How did
the cops know?
Well, the cell phone. They eventually find her cell phone.
Okay, so but they haven't found her cell phone yet, right?
No.
So
I plugged in straight from the report.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
I'm hoping. Does that make sense though when I'm doing it that way? Because I can do it the other way.
It totally makes sense.
You sure?
I just needed to know that part. No, I'm good.
Okay, where are we at? Friend D advised that Tristan and Aiden left his house together, and at the time, Tristan was wearing a black and gray T-shirt. Around 12:35 that day, Deputy Maloney meets with Aiden. As he approaches the house, he could see Aiden sitting on the stairs in the house. Excuse me. Actively using his cell phone. Aiden, Crystal, his mother, and her husband, Michael, sat on the front porch, and they spoke with Deputy for a little while. Aiden had left with Deputy Maloney, and Michael and his cousin, Andy, followed the Deputy Aiden in the patrol car alongside to make sure, I'm sure everything was kosher. And then Crystal just remained at the house on the front porch talking on her phone for about 20 minutes.
So the infamous Snapchat video, right, that is actually recorded at this time, and not when he's arrested.
Exactly.
And I think people get that confused too. So I'm going to show.
And mind you, at this time, Crystal gives consent for Aiden to show Deputy Maloney where he and Tristan went after leaving friend D's house. So just
right. So this is why there's two of them in the car together.
Yes.
Because he's not under arrest at this point, which like I said, a lot of people think he was under arrest, but he's not under arrest yet. Hi, Val.
And his girlfriend's there as well. It's just, it's not seen. The girlfriend's actually who friend D's talking to outside of that window.
Okay.
Having fun. Cop car.
Yep. Tristan.
What's up, guys?
Yep.
Tristan, if you the damn.
When you see this in a month
Fucker.
Oh, I don't know why
Yeah,
it
it's
cut
very
off like
short.
that.
They give you nothing.
Well, there's another part to that because it's not done, and then there's the screenshots. And let me pull that up real quick too, so you guys have that.
Zesty Paws makes chewy, functional supplements like Allerimmune Bites
I don't want your ads, but thank
and
you.
Probiotic Bites.
Like new things. I'm trying to find the number of the slide that it is.
Yeah, I got you. It's
T's on it, number 8.
Yeah, so he ends up posting on the Snapchat and puts on there, "Hey guys, has anybody seen Tristan lately?" And then he gets a lot of backlash.
Yes.
Aw, Britt, thank you, honey. You didn't have to do that.
Oh, Britt, thank you. We love you back. Thank you.
So he gets a lot of backlash with people who are like, he needs to be locked up. What the heck does, what is this? Is it a joke?
Mm-hmm.
I have another one too that's, they're saying like, you were the one that was with her. You should know where she is.
Yep. There's a whole back and forth that goes on Snapchat and Instagram.
Yeah.
In between that time, though, as well, there were people also making accounts as Aiden, and that whole cloning thing happened. And the one account had posted exactly, their version of what had happened. And when Aiden was in the car after that Snapchat is when Deputy Maloney was able to pull that up. Like that was being sent directly to him. Things were being sent to Tristan's family, and then that got sent to the deputy while Tristan was in the car. So the deputy is going off of this story, and he's talking to Aiden and trying to compare that story back. And then that's actually when they realize that the timing for all of this is completely off by almost like 10 minutes. And that'll come into play in a little bit. And I'll explain that 10-minute gap in the phone devices.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Where am I going next? We're still right here, right?
Snapchat video, right? Okay. So,
okay. So that's the 12:35. He goes for the ride. He's taking him over to see friend D's house, and that's telling him where they walked around.
Exactly. And at this time, Crystal's on her phone. She's talking to somebody. We're going to assume the lawyer. She goes into the house. 12:55. Crystal ends that phone call. She enters her home. She puts the family dog in the master bedroom. She goes upstairs. We've seen some of this footage in the beginning. She goes upstairs directly to the bathroom, where she is seen picking up some things off of the floor, and she walks into Aiden's bedroom. T, if you want to play the last of that clip, you can, but we played the whole thing, so you don't have to if you don't want to.
Okay, that's fine. I think people know that. Yeah, this is some still shots from the mom washing the jeans in the bathroom sink.
Yep.
There is the whole video is out there. She ends up calling her friends over. Was it the attorney that she called over, or
she calls over her cousin, basically, who pretty much lives there with them anyway. Or no, I'm sorry, it would be her boyfriend's cousin and his girlfriend. They come over, and she ends up talking to the girlfriend, and she's seen on that surveillance showing her friend, like basically having her friend like review the jeans. To the point you can see the friend like looking at one spot, and later on when she's interviewed, she says, "I didn't see much other than it being damp and a yellow something on it," which I'm going to assume was stitching or something. But
okay,
so I'll go back over because I kind of have exactly what Crystal does right here. 12:57. Crystal exits Aiden's bedroom holding a pair of jeans and went back into the adjacent bathroom. Crystal appeared to be scrubbing the jeans in the bathroom sink. Aiden's brother appeared in the video, observing Crystal scrubbing the jeans. That was the other person there too.
Oh, okay, the brother was there.
12:59. Okay. Crystal exited the bathroom, briefly steps into Aiden's bedroom, then takes the jeans downstairs to the master bedroom. 1:01 p.m. Crystal appears to be wiping something off of the floor at the foot of the stairs with her feet. At 1:05, another subject, later identified as V. Ackle, and A, Acker's wife, then appears on video with Crystal and the brother all appeared to be having a discussion. Crystal's demeanor indicated she was upset. She appeared to be using her phone for voice calls, text message communication frequently during this time frame.
So she's like visibly like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, she's freaking out. I think that's when she did notice the blood, and no matter what they said to her, you know, they weren't taking it the way she was, and she started
These photos.
out.
Hold on, they're asking about these photos. These photos are from. I'll show you. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, they're from random articles. But I could keep going just to what she was doing in the house.
And developing tonight's new video release in the case of 14-year-old Aiden Fucci in the
just keep adding everything over here.
moments before and after police say he stabbed 13-year-old Tristyn Bailey to death in May.
We received a series of videos late this afternoon, including those from inside Fucci's Durban Crossing home, which show what detectives say is Fucci's mom washing blood off of his jeans.
I have the whole
On your sides, Robert Bradfield is live tonight in the newsroom looking through that video as prosecutors build a first-degree murder case against the St. Johns County teenager. Robert.
Well, good evening. That video inside Fucci's home is about 16 minutes long, but we're going to show you just the first part, which shows his mother, Crystal Smith, walking into an upstairs bathroom. And that is where the state's attorney says Smith is seen cleaning her son's bloody jeans.
So she's
when
over
officers
here.
went into the home, they found a pair of wet jeans in Fucci's bedroom. And as we reported earlier this summer, the jeans and a drain in a bathroom tested positive for blood. Smith was arrested in June. She is charged with evidence tampering. Now, other video released today shows who detectives believe are Fucci and Bailey walking in their neighborhood on the morning of May 9th, the last time Bailey was seen alive. Later that morning, a person who is believed to be Fucci is also seen returning to his home, wearing a sweatshirt and holding white shoes, matching the same description that was also caught on another home surveillance camera earlier that night. Now, Fucci is charged with first-degree murder.
Okay, so I know that the full 16-minute video is out because I've watched the whole thing, and I think I have it on my laptop.
I saw bits and pieces, but I didn't see the whole 16 minutes. What it does have, I just saw Jen in there. There's a lot to this. There's almost, I believe,
I can find the other part where you can see the people walking in, and she sits on the steps. And...
Yep. There's almost like 119 pages to this, and I tried to keep it focused on that night as much as possible because I knew we were getting to, you know, we could do all the trial talk as the trial's happening. But there was a lot that when I first looked into this case prior to the reports coming out, there was so much more that actually happened in that day and a half that should be talked about. And I was kind of confused as to why.
Okay, you keep going on the timeline. I'm going to see if I can find... Shmita is going to look for it too. Okay, and she'll upload it if she has it. I know I have it from when this all very first happened and was released, but I'm going to see if I can find it real quick, and Shmita will look too. Okay. So you keep going through the timeline, and I'll look for that. I'll be BRB.
Where did we stop off? So at 1:14 p.m. that day, Crystal gets the jeans from the master bedroom, and she and person V appeared to be having a discussion about the jeans. Both can be observing. It's inspecting the jeans.
Does this just...
Is that the videotape? At 1:19, Crystal returned the jeans to the master bedroom, then exited and continued to have a conversation with friend V. She appeared to be upset throughout the entire conversation. At 1:25, Michael and Andy, now Michael is Crystal's significant other, and Andy would be, I believe, his brother or his cousin. They enter the home. Michael went with Crystal into the master bedroom, and Andy left the house not too long after. At 1:28, Crystal returns the jeans to Aiden's bedroom. Do you want me to get to the rest of the day, T, or because that jumps right to 3 o'clock?
You can keep going. You're good.
So at 3 o'clock on Mother's Day, Special Victims Unit responds to Sanctuary Drive to make contact with 2 of Tristan's friends. I believe there is a mother out there speaking regarding her daughter possibly being there that night or could have been there that night. And I don't want these two girls to be confused with. One of these girls was supposed to be there that night and ended up not going. And then there was a girl from friend D who he was supposed to have over that night that ended up not coming over. But friend D's supposed guest of that night is being lumped in with Tristan's set of friends that they went and spoke to that day. And that girl is completely separate.
Wounds 40 your child. So if you want to make sure that you're updated of when we go live with the
Okay, yeah, I'm not finding anything on it, so I'll have to see if I can find it later and I can upload it. So Mallory asked a really good question, and I was actually talking with Michelle about this earlier too. If your kid came home and told you they did this, what would you do? And I'm even curious, if they didn't tell you they did this, but you found what she found on his pants, on his jeans, what would you do?
Right. I thought Brian Laundrie was a situation until this case came, because it's exactly what it is. You can almost take person V, who says she barely sees anything other than them being damp.
Yep.
Meanwhile, though, you have the mother who says she knows she sees it, and she's insisting that her friend sees this. It was like she knew, not knew what he did, but knew something was not right automatically, looking for what she was looking for. She went complete right to the.
I don't know. I've always said, since this happened and since this came out, I've always said I would probably be Aiden Fucci's mom.
Yeah.
In a state of, I don't know what the heck is actually happening around me right now that this has happened. I guess unless it's different though, because for me, I don't see, my son right now is 14. He doesn't have this type of personality at all that Aiden has. So I think for me, I would probably not even know what to do. For her, I'm wondering how many signs she saw of this happen, something about to happen, something was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yep. And that's where it was kind of it was important to know a little bit of Aiden's backstory and how he grew up, and his family and just his past too, because Aiden at one point was just an innocent little boy at one point, and that little boy went from being he just had a creative imagination to hearing voices, and he expressed this, and he expressed that he wanted help over this, and he did to at least his girlfriend and his friend. Did mom not catch any of this? Did mom or dad not catch any of this? Did brothers?
He was expressing that he wanted to kill somebody. This was what he wanted to do.
Yep.
And I mean, in particular, he's telling them he wants to stab them.
Yep. He says he wants to drag someone into the woods, a random person at a random time, but it was going to happen within the month, and he was going to stab them from behind. And basically things that he had acted out on his girlfriend is pretty much what he had done to Tristan.
Yeah, NorCal Jim, see, exactly. That's how I feel about my son too. It's just the personality is just not the same at all.
Yeah, nowhere near close. I can't even imagine my son even doing something like this. So when I go to even think about being in her shoes, I'm just but I know I would be just frantic. It's just something with the conversation with the friend, why she's so insistent that she sees something, but the friend says she doesn't. And the friend is
saying, so did she know that there was something off about her kid, and then she was and she sees that there's something on the pants, starts to realize, I'm curious about her trial too, because does she know that he's a bad kid and she wants to cover it up? Or, because I say I would be like her, but my kid isn't like that. So then I go, would I cover it up knowingly? I don't know, because my kid isn't, he doesn't have any bad signs whatsoever, except for kind of, being a little bit talk backy-ish as a 14-year-old. Other than that, he's a good kid, good grades, good student, good soccer player, good track player. You know what I mean?
And overall good human being. You know a lot of those things through the way they handle animals and the way they treat others, and when certain situations happen, how children will act, and they all act differently, but it goes back to the core. And I feel like Aiden's core over time turned very, very evil. And just being the mom and the dad, especially the mom, and that's just my opinion, with him day in and day out, he lives with you.
Right.
You didn't catch any of the signs. I mean,
Right.
he was expressing this. He was saying he was hearing voices, and the voices made him angry, and he felt bad after, like, he felt bad about his anger, and then he felt bad about the things he did out of his anger.
52A.
So something along the way, Aiden had a slight shift and turn there, and where does that lie? And that's where it's, I might need Jen Lou on this one.
So Jen, that's why I pulled hers up, because she says legally in Florida, the mom does not have to actually tell on him. But she's in trouble because she washed the pants, which would be the tampering with evidence. Okay, so Shmita did find me a different part of the video. So let me bring it over here so you guys can see it.
Shmita, you're amazing. Thank you. Oh, yeah, no, this.
The sheriff and taken away. That is his mom walking around. They have a nice house. Mom is walking and looking around, going upstairs, wondering what she's going to do upstairs. All right, now she arrives upstairs. Yeah, maybe she's gathering some laundry, has some clothes or something that she's got to grab. Goes into, it looks like a little bathroom. And again, this is after the murder. Mom cleaning up a little bit. Picks up some clothes there. And wait for it. Looks like she's got a pair of jeans. Now, it wasn't super clear from the video. It seemed like Aiden Fucci may have been wearing a pair of jeans. So what exactly is she doing with those jeans? Is she washing them?
Yep, Jeannie.
Now, that's not Aiden Fucci there. That's going to be a sibling that is in the video. Again, realize at this point, her son has just been taken away by sheriffs, and a young girl was found murdered in the neighborhood, stabbed 114 times. And now mom.
And what blows my mind is I believe that 20-minute phone call that she had was with the attorney.
Okay.
I think so too.
They look like they might be a little wet right now. And goes out of sight there for a moment. And now walking with a lump of jeans. Now we pick it up going down the stairs, and it appears to be going maybe to a garage or somewhere else. So what did we just witness here? What is mom up to? Let's bring in our think tank. Bernard Villalona, Ian Friedman, Brian Watkins. Brian, mom doing some cleaning up there.
That she is helping to get rid of evidence.
I know there's more to the video. Let me see if they actually have any more, because there is. Let me see what this part is. Hold on.
As you take a look, there she is. And they're kind of near that door where those pants were. And again, there's no audio of this video. You just got the images. And again, this is the Fucci home security system. And it looks like they're taking some time right there near the bottom of the steps. Another little tyke walking around. And it looks like they're cleaning the floor, kind of where mom was just walking. And I wonder what was on the floor there. Bernardo, that's kind of significant, right? If this woman saw maybe something red in nature, or maybe just some dripping there, that might get us closer to what was being done to those jeans, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. But Benny, I will tell you this, because they have the recordings from inside of the home, there is so much more evidence, especially when you're thinking they're going to have the recordings from the
Oh, wait, here
moment
comes mom. Here
that
comes
son
mom,
left.
Bernarda.
Oh,
Here comes
there
mom
she
with the pants. Look at that. She's showing them. They look clean, right? I don't understand what's going on here.
I'm going to tell you that all you have to do,
She's
the
on her own camera.
prosecutor is going to start following it. That's what they're going to do. They have surveillance video that's going to be ongoing 24 hours. So as long as you spend many hours looking at the video, you can be able to track where those pants went. And just remember what
Right, she's got the pants in her hand again. She's got the pants in her hand. She's
Uh-huh.
on the phone now. Maybe getting some advice what to do with the pants. We got to check the cell phone records now. Find out who's.
And remember, if Aiden's talking to his mom or anything like that, Aiden's reminding her he sat on those steps when he came in.
I mean,
He
from
went
the
right up
looking at the video, my next step will be to get the phone call records to see who was it that she called.
I wonder what they're talking about. But she's putting the pants back in this other room, and we're not sure what that other room is. But it's not. I don't think it's Aiden's room. I think it's kind of where you walk in and out of the house, perhaps the garage. Oh, here comes the other woman giving it another look.
Mm-hmm. These are very important pants, Vinny. What a conversation.
Remember, according to her, she sees nothing but a little yellow line in the upper right-hand corner, like pocket area.
That other woman's kind of being really put on the spot there, Brian Watkins. All of a sudden, she's now in.
And she also lets her know that what she's doing is illegal. That's
And
what.
there's an interesting moment here. They're talking by the stairs, the two women, right? Wait for it. And okay, we don't know what they're saying. Can't read their lips. No idea. Let's look at their body language a little bit. And oh, wait, did she just
Pointing at the camera.
She just pointed at the camera. We've got a camera there. Oh,
again.
Yeah. Is that a little consciousness there, Brian? We just remembered we have an inside camera that is recording everything we're doing.
So you want.
I think we're looking for Crystal. And oh, here's another person. Not sure of his identity at this moment, but there's someone else kind of in that little back room. That's that little room where the jeans went, I think. Wonder what they're talking about. Another potential witness. All these people could be subpoenaed to testify about what exactly were you doing.
And Vinny, I think you just said it right. I wonder what they're talking about. And that's why the trial is going to be a very long trial. And all of these things, these witnesses,
the jeans are going back
gonna have to
upstairs.
come forward.
Jeans are coming back upstairs, Ian.
I understand.
Is that good? Is that good or bad?
Well, the more that you see these jeans treated like more than a pair of bloody jeans, of course, it does not get better for the defense. But I still cannot jump to just insert that she was aware of why these jeans were bloody. Now, maybe by the time the prosecution gets through their trial, I assume they're going to have an answer for that. They know they've got to make that link. But Bernarda was a great prosecutor. She knows perfectly well, Bernarda.
Thank you,
that if
Ian.
you couldn't prove that she was aware of the crime, bloody jeans don't mean anything. Correct?
But you got to think the cops arrested Aiden. So in order to arrest a 14-year-old, the cops must have told her what he was being arrested for. And in addition to that, because he is 14 years old, the police need the consent of a family member, of a parent,
But he's not
in order
arrested
to be
yet.
able to talk to him.
Right,
So
he's not formally.
she is in possession of certain information about why her son is being apprehended and taken into a police car and taken to the prison. So I think when you start putting
But he's not arrested yet, so I don't think that's a fair statement. And maybe they just don't know that, because I know a lot of people think that Snapchat was when he was arrested, but it's not.
Now, mind you, though, as we go through the timeline, you'll see that during this time, there are other things that are kind of going down too, and it starts to unfold throughout. And that's kind of the story that was never really put out there.
And they're also saying at this point right here, the other issue I have is that they haven't actually found her yet.
Exactly. She has not been found yet.
She has not been found yet.
Not been found yet.
So they're talking about this video because it was released obviously later, but they're not paying attention to the time frame. I don't, in my opinion.
Yep.
Because she's not been found yet. She's missing. She was reported missing already, but
that's
and he's not arrested.
Yep. The most that's happening right now in this moment is the community's out looking for her. The police, they have some aviation going on, and Aiden gets taken in the car to go back to friend D's house to show his route back. Because
oh wait, she just.
I want to see her point at the camera again. I think that's awesome.
The oh shit moment, right?
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah. She's like, oh crap. Hi 13th Juror, Jackie. Hi gamer lover.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, yeah, so I think that the way they're telling the story is kind of, I mean, it's, you know, it's media, but they're not telling it necessarily absolutely correctly, because he's currently gone taking them to where he was walking with Tristan.
He's with Deputy Maloney right now, back at Dee's house, and showing the route back, because he had given a story that said it took him like 28 minutes to get home. And when they calculated it, it just didn't add up. So that's why he wanted to be taken back to show the exact route back. And then that's when things start happening.
Okay. So we see her, she's doing all this stuff with the jeans. This is a much better video. This is actually everything I remember seeing. I think that this is a lot of the video. They said it's 16 minutes, but this video right here is 13, so they don't put the whole thing in there. But it'll be, you know, it'll come out at trial, because this is, I'm sure they'll have to use this video at his trial too.
Yep. Because on his subpoenaed list for his, well, I'm sorry, for the prosecution side is the cousin, the boyfriend, and the cousin's girlfriend that you see right there.
Yeah, so I think that she does ask later about the jeans, which is why I've always thought, she's not purposely tampering with anything at this moment, in my opinion. I don't know, because I don't know if she has all this together, or does she purposely start going to look at his clothes because they came and picked him up because he was one of the last ones to be seen with her. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And because she knew, and she said this to the police, she realized he had snuck out, and because he wasn't supposed to be out either. And that, no, I'm sorry, he didn't sneak out, that he wasn't home by his curfew. And she said that she was upset because she didn't deal with it at the time, and she was going to wait till the next morning. And then by the time, you know, everything had happened, she just, when he had taken the ride, she went directly to his room to see what was on the floor, because he just dropped those clothes like in his little like laundry area, I guess. So she knew right where to go. It's not like these jeans were folded in a drawer somewhere and whatever, they were damp. I think he tried at some point, or maybe he did an initial, like whatever, maybe even threw them in the sink, and then thought he did it, thought he cleaned up what he could, dropped them on the floor like a teenager would. And then when he took that ride, Mom went right upstairs. He was known to keep knives in his drawers. He was known to hide things in his drawers and in a certain part of his closet. So if his friends knew that.
They did find the murder weapon, correct?
They did. They eventually found it.
They find the sheath in the house, ironically.
Now, he collects knives. One, he names them pointer and poker, and he had left some knives at his girlfriend's house, at friend D's house. He was known to always have a knife on him, and he had his collection, in a sense, in his bedroom. I think that's another reason why she shot directly up there. Not even so much for those jeans. I think she wanted to take account of those knives or something.
Okay, so Tia says to break it down because she's slow. She's like, slow, not because she's slow. Just slow it down for her. Not because you're slow, Tia. Oh my goodness.
No, not at all. This story,
from
they
my
told in a way where it easily goes, but that's not what happened. In timeline form, it's actually very complicated. But the way they tell the story is
this is Sunday on Mother's Day.
Yes.
They're looking for Tristan. They know that she was with Aiden.
Yep.
They go to talk to Aiden. Aiden says, yes, they're walking around, and he'll go back and show the path that they took. while that's happening, supposedly this is also happening simultaneously.
Right.
So the video where you see him and his buddy in the car,
That's
or in the police
before
car,
this.
and he's actually recording the Snapchat saying like, Tristan, like if you're out there, like, you know, people are looking for you. And that's happening when this is happening. And that's my understanding of it. If I'm incorrect, somebody please tell me.
You're on it. And then you'll see something start happening as other detectives show up on scene and they start doing other things. So like around 3 o'clock, the SVU detective shows up and makes contact with Tristan's two friends. We'll call them friend S and friend L. At that point, they had spoken to the father of these girls, and the father made contact and had a conversation, and then let them go out and speak to the detectives on their own. And then that's when they had learned that Tristyn did sneak out of her house that night, and that she possibly could have went with a guy named Carlo, this supposed like 22-year-old drug dealer. So this is where they came up with the idea that, or, you know, that Tristyn, the last time Tristyn was seen by her family was not actually the last time Tristyn was seen. And then this is when they start putting the story together and comparing Aiden's stories.
They find her body later this day, but she's not found at the time this is happening.
No, she's about to
my
be.
Understanding. I'm going to double check. I want to double check the date and time of this video, but you already have that, don't you? I mean, you have the time.
It should be like.
Oh yeah, you have it. So the time of this video starts at. Okay, he gets picked up by the officers to go show them where they were walking at 12:35.
Yep.
Crystal, his mom, is on the front porch talking on the phone for 20 minutes.
Yep.
Nobody knows who she was talking to yet. Many assumed it was an attorney.
Yep.
At 12:55, she gets off the phone and goes upstairs. So at this point, Tristan's phone is not found. Tristan is not found. There's no weapons found.
Nothing.
Nobody's under arrest for anything.
Nothing. Yep. Nothing. They're just merely in conversations. Like they're in the car heading over to friend D's house to see that route back, as Crystal's doing all of this inside the home.
Okay, so now we're back on the timeline. She does all this stuff that we catch her on camera doing, and we're back on the timeline. So we're at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. This all gets done at like 1:28.
Yep. And then we go to 3 o'clock, and that's when the SVU detective makes contact with Tristan's two friends and their father.
Wait, hold on. So hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
Okay.
Crystal gets off the phone at 12:55.
Mm-hmm.
She exits Aiden's bedroom with the jeans at 12:57. And the last time we see her was when Crystal returned the jeans to Aiden's bedroom, which we saw. That's at 1:28. That means that this video is actually like 30, what is it?
They do
33 minutes long.
Well, right. And they do realize throughout all of this that not only is that time, also the equipment that law enforcement was working with to detect pinging times and things like that was also off. And that was just due to, outdated equipment. So I don't know if that came in effect for this too, but you're going to see.
I'm wondering if it's also like, the camera's trigger. It takes quite like a minute to go back. Mercy, he's not arrested. He's not at the police station. He's in the police car driving them around to show them the area that he walked with them.
Yep.
Hi, Angie.
Hello.
ETS. Okay, so I think that now we've kind of established all the timing of that. So there's probably 16, maybe 16 minutes in total, up to 33 minutes is kind of what I'm gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're at now at 3 o'clock, and he's questioning the other friends that she was supposedly with.
Right.
Now 3:29. That's where we are.
And this is a
3:29
completely
in the afternoon on Mother's Day.
Right. So at 3:29, they get a pinging for Tristan's phone. 1 second. This place, the center of the radius within a wooded area south of the Loop Nursery. The data source for the mobile locator results was hysterical, indicating Tristan's cell phone was no longer actively sending signals. if you want to go back, you already got it up. Okay. If
I got
wanna-
you, boo.
Thank you, babe.
Takes me a minute to get into the rhythm, but I'm here.
We'll be getting there. We're getting there. And thank you guys for being here and keeping chat so kind and cool. And our mods, we love you, love you. Thank you.
Okay, so phone is found over here.
Yep.
This kid's out all night doing this. Okay.
And planned it, in my opinion. Okay. So at 3:29, Tristan's phone's being pinged. At 3:30, Deputy Maloney is still with Aiden, and he asks him to clarify his timeline once again because it seems to be off by a few hours from friend D's story. And then also they Google mapped and all that and whatnot, and it was a 1.4 miles and 28-minute supposed walk. That's again when Aiden changed his story, and he said that he and Tristan continued to walk north along North Dublin Parkway. They got into an argument. Tristan had grabbed his little thingy, and that's when Aiden said he forcefully pushed Tristan to the ground, which caused her to hit her head. Aiden said that the incident had occurred near the 600 block of North Dublin Parkway. In between this time, he's taking the police officer, like they're physically out of the car, taking the walk. The officer then says, even in his notes, that Aiden had looked him in the eyes, and Aiden had looked him in the eyes, shut them, opened them back up again, and changed his story again. And I think the reason why they even mentioned the whole eye situation is because this is exactly what he also tells his friends when the voices, he says, kicks into his head. And I don't know if this is going to play a part in defense. So now again, we're at 3:30. After Deputy Maloney asked Aiden to clarify his story because it didn't add up, they pinged Tristan's phone. This is when Deputy Maloney, in his notes, says, I believe a crime may have occurred, and I then advised Aiden of his constitutional rights. Aiden invoked his rights and declined to provide any further statement. Aiden was returned to the North Amenity Center, at which time Aiden and his parents requested an attorney.
So now he's arrested.
Now he's arrested.
Okay.
All right, now. So right after this, the SVU detective goes back to friend D's house to review Instagram, Snapchat, all that stuff. And she also gets access to Tristan's profiles as well. She wasn't able to locate any recent postings, Instagram or anything like that from Tristan. But she noticed that Tristan's last Snapchat post was about 16 hours prior.
Okay.
Aiden did give him part of his story. He said that Tristan could be with the drug dealer who was in his 20s, and that she communicates with that same drug dealer through Snapchat. And she could be on a path by the North Amenity Center known for teenage drug use. He also stated that her friend that she spoke to on the 7th, the one that said that she was in very high spirits, she was in a good mood, that she would have more information.
Okay.
So he kind of like shifts everything over to that friend. Around 3:59 that day, Deputy Maloney received the requested call and text detail records from AT&T for Tristan's cell phone, but was unable to open them at the time due to technical complications. He then relocated to another center to start pulling this up. So we go to 4:29, and they get a hold of the Snapchat message from Aiden in the backseat.
This is Aiden's in the back seat of the patrol car earlier.
Exactly, but the SIOS communications didn't get it right away, and now they're getting it, and they're just sending it to Deputy Maloney, who's physically with Aiden.
Okay.
So he gets sent all that. This is when they realize that he actually does send, or he does post a Snapchat. And then at that point is once the Detective Maloney gets this message, he then seizes Aiden's cell phone at this point, and it was contained for evidence. At 4:30, they were able to retrieve footage from the amenity center, which is in the front part of Tristan's community center there.
Mm-hmm.
And that video footage shows two subjects walking past the main entrance along the sidewalk at 1:14 a.m. on Sunday, May 9th.
Okay.
This is where they notice that the video is behind 10 minutes and 36 seconds.
Which makes it actually 1:24 then.
Exactly. The two subjects walk past the amenity center, which would have been at 1:24. Then they collected, right, video footage from May 8th at give me 1 second.
From May 8th?
I'm sorry. Right. And they also received another set of footage from the amenity center, but it kind of, I guess, was useless, but they still entered it into evidence, but they don't add anything about it.
Okay.
I don't know why I even put that in there. So at 4:50, the SVU detective, he requests the missing child alert for Tristan. At 5:02, AT&T end up giving out the call and text detail records for Tristan. They indicated Tristan's last outgoing call was on May 7th at approximately, what would that be? 22. Would that be 11? No, 9. That would be 9 o'clock from her sister, SB. The records did not reflect any call or text details for May 8th. Tristan had an incoming voice call at approximately, which would be 12:25 hours on May 9th from a phone number later identified as Aiden Fucci. The remainder of the call or call detail records were all incoming calls, all of which began at approximately 8:40, the approximate time Tristan was discovered missing. At 5:10 is when Detective Peluso goes and conducts audio recorded interviews with the Bailey family. I can't imagine in this moment what is happening. This is basically when they're being told that there is some funny business going on and they have some child in a car and they now have all of her phone records.
Okay.
Around 8:30, the community comes together. They hold a candlelight vigil for Tristan at the southern end of the Durbin Crossing Center, Crossing Amenity Center. Sorry. Do you want to play that clip, T?
I want to. We can. Hold. I want to keep going. Actually.
Okay. Okay. So then we go to 8:49. Aiden and his parents are at the St. John County Sheriff's Office. They're in their interview room.
What was she found?
Huh?
What time was she found?
Well,
is that on here? Am I missing it?
Oh, wait a second. Hold on.
I think she's found at like 6-ish, if I remember correctly.
It's at 6:30-ish. Did that delete out of here? Oh my goodness. There's no way the one part. No, it's definitely in here. Yeah. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
No, you're fine. I was looking at it and I was wondering. So what I do know is that the neighborhood at this point all knows that she's missing.
Yeah.
And so they're all kind of out looking for her too, not like in droves, but they're all looking for her. One of the neighbors is actually one of them that ends up finding her body.
He was walking, jogging by, and he noticed the body and called it in. All at this time, though, where did that go? Oh,
yeah. I'm just trying to find out what time it was at.
Where was all this at? Oh, how bad is this? I know it was between 6 and 6:30.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like we're right at that time frame where she's found.
How's that not in here? All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to go back to the report and just pull from
You're fine. No worries.
I don't know how that, of all the things in that timeline, that's the one thing that is not there.
Her last phone ping was over here. Okay. I was thinking that was where her phone was, but that's where her last phone ping was. So that's probably the tower.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'll have that.
Okay.
How in the world did I miss that?
A runner found her 6 p.m. near the woods, cul-de-sac. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know, but I swear that I read that in the timeline already, and I don't see it now.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, it definitely was in the timeline, and I almost went right by it too. Like, with you, thank God you found it. Okay, because there was something else going on when she was found. Okay, so at 6:06 is actually when she was found by the neighbor in the cul-de-sac off of Saddlestone Drive.
Yeah, I knew that it was like 8.5 hours after they reported her missing. That's what I remembered. So, yeah, so that makes sense. 6:30, and she was reported missing at 10. So 6:06 is what you said?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so 6:06 she's found, and
now right around 6 o'clock though that night, they're conducting another interview with another friend, and the friend advises that there's a video circulating on social media, and the person's name is Trey, and he's encouraging a girl named Lola to sneak out of her house on May 8th of that same night. And the Katrina girl told Lola, hey, you're not going out, you're not doing this, what are you doing? And she ended up not going out. But give me one second. She ended up not sneaking out, but Trey contacted Tristan and wanted her to sneak out as well that night.
Right.
And she ended up going out, but she went with Aiden and friend D instead.
Okay, so now we're back at they locate her remains and they contact her family. There's a vigil, a candlelight vigil that's held, and then now we're back at the police station with lovely Aiden and his family.
Do you want me to go over how she was found? Because I think that was
yeah.
Tristan was located in a wooded area approximately 80 feet from the southernmost end of the retention pond, south of the Durbin Creek Nursery. Tristan was laying on her right side with her head pointed to the east, looking north, and her feet pointed to the west. Tristan's right leg was bent slightly at the knee, and her left leg was bent at a 90-degree angle at the knee. Tristan's right arm was extended with a slight bend at the elbow, and her left arm was bent at the elbow with her hand touching her chin. Tristan was wearing a black Victoria's Secret shirt and the word pink on the front, black Nike brand sweatpants, and black and white slip-on Van brand shoes. Tristan's hair appeared to be matted and red in color, which appeared to be blood. Tristan had multiple sharp force injury wounds on her hands, arms, neck, and appeared to have additional sharp force trauma injuries to her back, evident by the holes in her shirt. Crime scene technician located a gold-toned ring, a cell phone later identified as Tristan's cell phone, a $20 bill, and a pink vape. CST advised that they located a possible shoe impression within the wooded area, as well as a Powerade bottle near the pond. They did not locate any other items of possible eventuary value, nor did she observe any suspicious circumstances around the scene. And then they just mentioned how they process the cell phone.
And then imagine that poor runner that found this young girl like this.
Yep.
He stabbed her 114 times.
114 times, and he came from the back exactly how he had done it or played and did it with his girlfriend, and pretty much exactly how he described he would do it to not just his girlfriend, to friend D. And they give you there's a breakdown of the wounds, and that is extremely, it tells you that Tristan fought her ass off on this one. And it's just, I don't know how premeditated this was, but this is at least a month long. And if it wasn't premeditated in the sense that it was going to be Tristan, it was going to be somebody, and it ended up being Tristan that night. And she had no idea this was coming, and he came right from behind and did what he did. It's the unimaginable. And there are and I understand everybody has support, but there is a hard group of supporters out there that are hell-bent that even though he did this, he still did nothing wrong. And I just, right. He led her to believe that they were going for a walk and that she could be calm because they're going to smoke and they're just hanging out. They're taking a walk. And then before she knows it, they make a slight turn and he comes right from behind her. And if it's one of those type of pocket knife style situations, but a little bit bigger, you can only imagine what that was like. Right, Connie, why so many times? It was clearly out of pure rage. It was
right.
They were talking in the beginning that they thought he was an incel and that had something to do with it. And then that's how far that this has spun. And he continues to go with the voices in his head, tell him to do these things. And I just, it's one thing when it tells you to draw something like that. It's another when you act out on it. Oh, and what he did to her depicted a lot of his drawings as well. And I know there's a lot of back and forth about
and make sure that they don't want those drawings, shown to the jury.
Well, and they also they're claiming that he didn't draw those, but he did. Right. Him and his friend both had drawings, and they would help each other. So he might have gave for one or two drawings. No, maybe he didn't physically draw the two, but he basically gave the content. He told the friend what to draw, and the friend drew it up. He just wasn't as good of a drawer as his friend, but he had his own set of drawings that he hid in his bedroom, which means he knew they were not okay. He was hiding them for a reason. And that's where I get very confused with the parents too, because a lot of times typically they'll hang those type of pictures up. You'll either have the kid who hangs it up and the parents know all about it, or the kid that completely hides it. But I don't think that they didn't know everything. Maybe they didn't know about the voices in his head, but watching the turn of the behavior.
I don't even know there's really voices in his head. That's a whole nother thing. So, yep. Okay. So now we're at about 8:49, almost 8:50. This is when the recording that we were talking about earlier happens at the police station, where you can hear the mom asking what was on the pants, and he's whispering blood.
Yep. And during this time, they're collecting, Crystal gives consent to collect DNA from him. So they get bronchial swabs, they get photographs, fingernail scrapings from Aiden.
It's also when they ask him about why he was coming home at 3:30 in the morning, not wearing shoes. And he says that his feet hurt, which is where he basically says, yeah, I am that guy in those videos that you guys weren't sure that I was that guy. I am that guy.
Exactly. He gave, he gave it up right there. The timing of it all and the shoes, it went perfect. So at 9:08, Detective Manning, he enters the room. He takes Crystal and Jason and Aiden to another room where their attorney is. They're waiting for them. Aiden, Crystal, and Jason, they go back into the recorded interview room. They all clearly are upset. They're sniffling and appeared to have been recently crying. While Aiden was in the interview room, Detective Thompson attempted to interview both Jason and Crystal independently about any information regarding this investigation. During the audio and video recorded interviews, both Jason and Crystal refused to provide any information regarding this investigation. Law enforcement seized Jason's cell phone after watching he and Aiden using it as a form of communication during the first interrogation interview before the lawyer got there. Give me 1 second because I froze. My computer freezes constantly. So basically, the first time when they were in the interview room, Jason had began typing something on his phone, and they're recorded so they can clearly say it. And they were passing the phone back and forth a few times to each other. And law enforcement looked at it as they were using it as a means of communication between the two. And Crystal at that point asked Aiden if he was high that night. Aiden stated he was not, stated he smoked CBD that night, not THC. And he stated that THC gets him high and CBD does not, which also backs up the argument that friend D said that they had. And that's why he was glad that they left and he went to sleep. Around 10:52 that night is when St. John's Family Funeral Home transport Tristan to the medical examiner. 11:46, the search warrants obtained to collect evidence from Aiden. There's multiple search warrants throughout this entire almost 6 months that they have for Aiden. They break it up into 3 different search warrants. We are on May 10th at 12:09 a.m. They execute the search warrant to collect the evidence from Aiden. During the execution of the search warrant, collected DNA. Oh, I'm just repeating the same thing again. 12:44. Okay. They search Aiden's home, finding a Buck brand knife sheath. A pair of wet white Nike shoes with blood on them, a t-shirt with blood on it, a white piece of paper with handwriting with possible blood on it, and a pair of wet blue denim jeans in a laundry basket. They also find blood and dirt on the drain in the bathroom sink next to Aiden's bedroom. They executed another search warrant, and during this search, they located 8 pocket knives, 1 homemade shank, 2 sweatshirts, 5 black hats. One of the sweatshirts, a gray hooded sweatshirt with possible blood on the right sleeve, was located in Aiden's bedroom closet. The hooded sweatshirt was photographed and collected. And at 3:30 a.m., Aiden is arrested.
He's officially arrested.
He's officially arrested on
cuffs,
second degree.
I mean, he was already taken in, but obviously they formally charge him at that point.
Exactly. At 6:30 that morning, a diver located a knife within the pond. They had, they recovered a Buck brand folding knife with a wood and brass handle. This is hard. The tip of the knife was bent and fractured. The knife was recovered from near the southern end of the large pond east of Saddlestone cul-de-sac. The knife was recovered approximately 140 feet from where Tristan was located. They swabbed the knife for possible DNA and submitted it to evidence.
And we know from the autopsy that there was the tip of the murder weapon was actually found in Tristan's skull.
Exactly. And that is going to be huge in trial.
What was the knife's name? It's a Buck brand folding knife.
Yeah.
It had a wood and brass handle.
Mm-hmm. I think I might have it on the slide. I think I do.
Oh, you know what? You probably do. Let me come back over here and change that. Yeah, so you can see the tip of the knife.
Oh, okay.
It's missing. A buck knife, yeah. And it had a sheath that was found at the house.
Yeah. He thought he was slick with that one.
This guy.
Yeah, this guy. Oh. Okay, so Monday, May 10th at 8:30 a.m. is when they officially announce that he's been charged with second-degree murder of Tristyn Bailey. Ooh. And he will be remanded to a detention center for at least 21 days until his first court appearance.
This is the one that gets me right here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when they told him that they had found Tristan and she was not alive, he literally has the balls to say, "How is that my problem?"
Mm-hmm. His arrogance in this, knowing he was caught, blows my mind.
How is that my problem?
How is that my problem?
Yep.
It sounds just like how he came across in that Snapchat video and in that post. Just very, what is that? Is that condescending? Like, I mean, considering we're talking about a murder here, he's I don't even know what that word is. Cocky. Okay, so we go to 9 o'clock that day. A
So this is
postmortem.
not, we're on Monday. So this is now the day after when all this is, and it's been unfolding all night long. And now we're Monday morning. I mean, all of that was just Sunday.
Yep. That was just Sunday. That was just Sunday.
And overnight, going into Monday. So now it's 9 a.m. on Monday morning at this point.
Yep. So at this point, they're doing postmortem examination. Numerous defects in the front of the shirt were consistent with sharp force trauma injuries on Tristan's back, and there were no injuries on Tristan's chest. Thus, it was determined Tristan wore her shirt backwards. Tristan's brassiere was worn inside out. Tristan was wearing
her brassiere, her bra.
Oh my, I did. Guys, I'm just done at this point. I can't read no more. Like I'm half teary-eyed. I can't forget it. I said brassiere. Tristan's bra was worn inside out. Oh, Tristan was wearing black Nike brand sweatpants and black and white slip-on Vans brand shoes. Tristan was coming out of rigor mortis and appeared to have skin slippage. Oh, geez, Louise. Based on these conditions, Dr. Bullock estimated Tristan's time of death was consistent with occurring between 1:45 and 3:30 in the morning on May 10th of 2021.
So this part is interesting to me because when they examined her body, they found the handprint. They found a handprint on her upper left and inner and outer thigh. The inner left calf, the inner right calf, the upper right thigh. The handprint that was on her upper left thigh appeared to be consistent with a right hand based on the pattern of the hand print, and it was determined it would not have been her own hand. There was possible, ridge detail that was left by the handprint, but they weren't able to actually get any prints off of it.
Yeah, no.
But interesting that there's these handprints that are all over her.
They're in a place where it would almost be to where her legs were being pried open or attempting to be, or maybe being touched there.
Well, there was the initial thought that he had assaulted her, that he had sexually assaulted her.
And think of what he says. He says that she tried to touch his penis, but maybe it was the other way around. Even though they don't have it matching him directly.
Or it's just him physically holding her down.
That too.
Because the majority of her wounds are actually on her head and her neck area, her upper torso and neck area.
Do you think that could have been maybe her trying to even protect that area? Do you think maybe he was going at that area with the knife? What? It's odd that he mentioned
that he was like holding her down and that like to try to stab her, but if it was the right hand, I'm pretty sure he is right-handed, if I remember correctly. So then I find that interesting that how he was stabbing her. I don't know. That'll be interesting to come out at trial because I'm not 100% on that, but they do find the handprints all over her legs.
Yeah.
But her wounds are a lot from her back, obviously, because he attacks from behind. Her head. And just like the upper part, she does have a lot of wounds on her hands.
Yeah.
From trying to fight him off.
Yeah. I mean, they were able to tell clearly that he was standing behind Tristan and came at her at almost a downward angle.
The majority of the wounds were to her skull.
Yeah. They found 3 stab wounds, which penetrated Tristan's left chest cavity and punctured her left lung 3 times. They found 1 stab wound, which punctured her right chest cavity and her right lung once. The estimated cutting instrument to be a single edge blade APJ. I can't tell if this is my wording.
It was
approximately.
Yeah,
4 inches. Approximately 4 inches in length. And they have x-rays of Tristan's body, indicated a possible metallic fragment of the top of Tristan's skull, which was not initially recovered during autopsy. Dr. Bullock advised his detailed report would be available at a later date. However, he confidently stated Tristan's cause and manner of death would be listed as homicide due to sharp force trauma. Unreal. I don't care how many times I look at this, it blows my mind every time.
Right. So then they basically say, okay, this is where we're at. So he's arrested. They do the press conference. They say that she's recovered. It is confirmed to be her. He is the suspect.
Mm-hmm.
And was friend D arrested or just taken in for interviewing?
Friend D actually made an appointment to come in. And they specifically mentioned that in the report. That
I want to skip down a little bit so we can get to the more crazy of this dude.
Just a note too, Tristan had karma drawn in with blue ink on her ankle with a smiley face drawn on the inside of her ankle. She had a total of 114 wounds. 49 were defensive, 108 were non-fatal, 35 to the neck and head. No signs of sexual assault, but toxicology says the handprints were found inside Tristan's thighs that were not hers.
Okay, so give me a rundown of this next part so that we don't have to go through each step of it.
This is just more about the emails back and forth. The community was very concerned about everything that was going on, and about another killing that had happened in 2010. I really should have been put in there. Okay. So at 8:54 on the 10th, as they're canvassing Saddlestone Drive, they are called back to a homeowner's house by the name of Zach. Zach advised he located video footage that he believed may be relevant after discovering the timestamp on his video system was incorrect. Digital forensics responded to assist and collected the video. The first video depicts two subjects walking east sidewalk of Saddlestone Drive in real time depicted. Next video. I think we went over all of this. Okay, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can keep going because then this is they interview all these friends, they interview all these neighbors, they get more footage. The friends, this is when the friends are telling officers that Aiden had told them, which they didn't supposedly believe, but that he had told them he did want to kill somebody with a knife and stab them.
Yep.
When they decide they're going to charge him with first-degree murder and charge him as an adult, very quickly afterward, I think it's actually by the end of May.
Mm-hmm.
The one I want to, do you have that link in here where he's all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
The one where he's asking for his, that should be in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it real quick because that's the one I want to show him.
It might be this one, his August 31st hearing.
And May 28th that he's going to be charged as an adult. Which one is it? Do you have it?
It is, here it is. It's right here. It's on the timeline if you want to click that, but I'm going to send it to you.
What line? No, you're fine. What line is it?
Line 110.
110. Okay, I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, this is the next big thing because this is what this guy's gonna. This is what he was trying to set up.
Yep.
So he's obviously this is all happening during COVID, and so everything's on Zoom.
Yep.
So I want you guys to pay attention to Aiden, who's up here in the top right corner. Let me get that comment off the screen. Oh, now he's down here, middle left. He got moved. You can already see he's like rocking back and forth. Oh, look, there we go. Oh, we got to look.
It's happening.
We got the voices. We got the demons. Oh, now he's back up here again. Oh, shoot. How'd I get here? How'd I end up over here? This is crazy.
Why am I here? I just want to talk to my mom and dad. Let me flip my head over one more time. He knows how to get his hair out of his eyes.
He's just rocking and rocking.
Oh, I get it, Kentucky Lee. I promise you, I get it. I only attempted to do this in 2 days, and the amount of times I had to stop because of just to think what happened to her, and then to look at him and how this is going to actually try to be played out. It actually gets more frustrating when he gets his new lawyer.
You didn't take my soul. You didn't take my soul away. I know you didn't steal my soul. I know you know what's going on.
Yeah, who's he talking to? Oh, he's talking to somebody. Oh, here's somebody.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
I agree, baby girl.
What's going on? What's going on?
And when you fast forward to his next hearings, he is a completely different.
He was already a different person when he was very first brought into court. This
Look at
is
him.
like, let me get the hair out of my face. This is where he reminds me, or tries to play like the Letitia Stout catching butterflies bullshit.
Exactly. Yep.
Like, look, oh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
And I know they want to play off of
that?
this, but how is this going to hold up when every other hearing he's attended?
It's not going to hold up. They didn't even have him. His attorneys don't even have him getting a competency exam. They do not feel that he has any issues whatsoever.
Yep, and I agree.
They lost him.
Yeah, I don't think they get him back on this one.
I don't think they do either. I think that was that. Yeah, so that's him being all, yeah, I need help. I need help. But, yeah, so, and then I want to show, let me find it, because I don't think that's actually on the timeline. His,
which one you looking for?
His more recent one.
You want?
Yeah, this one's fine. This is from
the teen charged in the brutal murder.
Where he looks there. Yes, he looks completely different.
Look at how different this kid looks. So he was in Gen Pop, but he's gotten multiple what would you call it, citations, like that prisoners get for doing things wrong. He's threatened the guards, he's threatened other inmates. They found items in his cell that he wasn't allowed to have. So they ended up putting him into solitary. His attorneys tried to get him out, but they said no, he's staying there because he's a danger to himself and everybody else. So
right. And they were also playing off of the fact, though, that he was being held in there for his own safety as well, which also confused. But that was the first attorney. And then when the second one came on is when she started going through, how many days he was in there versus why, and I actually kind of like the response.
And look at how, he's put on a lot of weight.
He's put on weight.
Have the newer one.
Now, I don't know if this is just turned out to be because he is in solitary and it's actually not getting to him, because you would think he would lose weight being stressed out. But it looks like, if anything, the kid might be working out, or he's developing into a man, because he damn sure don't look like that boy with the flippy hair so many months back from that original, like he looks.
No, he doesn't have, he got rid of the hair.
Yeah, like he looks like he's hardened up even more.
Yeah, so he's put on all this weight, and yeah, so like Dave was saying, they tried to take all these items from his cell, and he fought them. He ended up getting pepper spray.
Definitely did.
Showing what I want to show. There it is. Yeah, so he ends up getting pepper sprayed. Like, the kid is, I don't even know. I don't even know how else to explain it. Oh, you do. You have one in here already. Yeah. So here's his. He sees things in the air. But look at this. This is one of the most recent court dates right here on the bottom left.
Yeah, and that's his
NK in court?
Lawyer.
Looks like MK over there.
Could you imagine? And of course, all the tales in there for Tristan, and they're her supporters and family. Mm-hmm. You see that face he gives when he's next to his lawyer? It's just. This is just, if you want a screenshot, guys, it's just a little bit about Florida state law and how they handle the juveniles and try them and whatnot.
So juveniles cannot be sentenced to death. The Supreme Court actually ruled in 2005 that it was cruel and unusual punishment to put a minor to death. So he is not eligible for the death penalty, which is why the prosecutors have determined or chose to fight to have just a 6-member jury. And his team wanted the 12, but the judge ruled that the 6 is sufficient, and that's how it's going to be. So,
yep.
Let me see what else you got in here.
The judge on this case is very matter of fact, and I like him so far.
Yes, and then they tried to get another postponement.
Yeah. Yes.
And that got denied. And this was just last week. So the last status hearing, because before trial, there's a status hearing, and this goes to basically say, whether we're going to do another continuance or whether we're ready for trial. And defense wanted another continuance. Judge says, nope, we're going. Oh, you're very well. Thank you, allegedly innocent. I'm so glad that you were able to come.
Oh,
they have a boatload. Yes, they have a boatload of evidence against this kid. I'm really surprised this did not end up in some form of plea with his age and being tried as an adult, and the evidence they know that they have against him. I mean, the evidence that we see in the public that they have against him is extremely incriminating, much less the evidence that we're going to end up finding out at trial.
Yep.
Yeah, Florida does not fool around. Beach Jam, you're so right.
And everybody's story ends up backing up the others except for Aiden's. And that's what's going to leave his story out to be that little lone wolf story, because every other story, even on his side, that's why I'm kind of confused with their lists. I don't understand why they would be calling half of the witnesses that they are, because in my opinion, it's going to work against him. I think they think because it's a family aspect thing that it's going to play out differently. I don't know. Even at that last hearing, listening to his lawyer go back and forth with the judge and then even with the DA, it was annoying. So I can only imagine how this trial is going to be. She nitpicks at every little thing and nothing makes sense. Nothing. The judge looks as puzzled and confused as I am right now.
It's a heartbreaking story. I mean, it really is. This beautiful young girl had her whole life ahead of her, and just because this creepy dude decided that he was, he wanted to kill somebody, he just picks her, and that's it.
Yep.
That's how it goes.
And that's Tristan's life. She was randomly picked that night for whatever reason. He Jones for her, or the fact that she was known to hang out with Friend D, not really so much with Aiden. She was known to definitely go smoke with Friend D, and Friend D made that very clear that when he did smoke, he normally always invited her over. So Aiden knew that as well. Aiden knew she was coming over, but Aiden also knew, I think there was some flirting going on even before that, and knowing that he had a girlfriend, maybe she held back a little bit, but then that night, because Friend D did say that they were getting a little chummy. He didn't word it like that. He worded it a little differently, but that's pretty much what he said. And that he was kind of annoyed that he couldn't have his girl come over.
So the family does have a Facebook page that they post on. They actually count down how many days it's been, and her birthday was actually in January. She would have just turned 15. I know they have a bunch of videos of her, so I wanted to show some of those before we got off, because
the entire community
is more important than looking at
his. 9 days till my birthday. 9 days till my birthday. 9 days till my birthday. 9 days till my birthday.
And T, I don't know how much time you have, but if you want to play even one or two of the sibling speeches, they really, really tell you about Tristan.
Yeah, I'll play those on our way out too.
They're so this family is beautiful. She was beautiful from the inside out, literally.
They know they have more videos on here.
She was a big fan of TikTok.
On her TikTok, yeah. I thought they were on here,
but I know they limited. That's with her older sister's baby. Well, it'd be her niece.
Well, now I feel like I'm just scrolling through here, but I know that there was more videos, and I was literally watching them earlier, and now I don't know where they are.
She has so much love from that community. They will never forget her, ever.
Well, that's her parents.
Yeah.
The Bailey 7.
Bailey 7. Tristan cheered for 2 teams, actually, and anybody from the cheer world knows that when you're in competition cheer, it's hard enough to get on one team, let alone 2, and not even just to get on it. It's actually, getting through it, and she managed to do both. Eventually, it had gotten too much, but the fact that she was able to get in both at the same time, almost just because she wanted to cheer with both sets of friends, it says that Tristan had multiple groups of friends, and that tells me that she was open to all different types of people.
I do this for my squad, I do this for my gang. I do this for my squad, I do this for my gang.
It's a goofy 13-year-old doing goofy 13-year-old things.
She's a teenager on her social media with their songs, and goodness. I think about the proms, I think about all those things, and then, Mom kind of experienced that with her other 3, and she was waiting to experience that with Tristan, and Tristan was her Spitfire in a sense, and she knew that she would be her experiences would be a little different with Tristan.
Always said.
I love this family, though. This family is so strong. All right, so I'm gonna put this up here for you guys. You want to watch the rest of it? I'm gonna play it out, and then we're gonna end it. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for listening to Tristan's story. The trial does begin next Monday with jury selection. Court TV is airing it. I don't know if Law and Crime is. I know we'll be covering the trial as it goes. This is going to play, and then the live is going to end. But thank you guys all for spending your Friday here with us. I know you have 1,000 other places that you could be, and you choose to be here sharing in these stories. So I appreciate each and every one of you.
Thank you for crying with us.
I can't even thank you enough for the amazing job you did telling Tristan's story tonight.
Thank you for hearing it out, even with all the
absolutely
craziness in it.
And all my mods, thank you guys for being here. All of you guys are great, and I appreciate all your help. I appreciate each and every one of you for your kindness and your love and support, and I will see you on the next one.
Yes, we love you. Good night.
Difficult for me to know where to pick up. There's been a lot of words said. Tristan described in a lot of ways, a lot of stories shared. And I've realized that I actually enjoy keeping the Tristan that I know close to me and keeping those memories close to me. I will share a few. And one of them I've shared before, and it just struck me as everybody was talking about her determination and her drive and things like that. When she first started in cheer, and she was at Zone, and she was working, and she had a coach that was challenging her, and it was tough and it was hard. And I remember talking to her, and God, I love those rides home from gym, and there's nothing better than when it's just you and your child in the car and you can talk, right? And talked to her, and I said, well, what do you think the motivation of the coach is? Why do you think she's doing this? What are your common goals? And we talked about it. The coach wanted her to be better. And we said each and every day she was going to turn around and she was going to go to that coach, and she's going to say, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for making me better. And Mel, thank you for being that coach. For those of you in it at Infinity, thank you for continuing to push her, because those are the people that care about us, the people that bring out the best in us. And I've been very, very fortunate. I think each of my children have been touched by great coaches. In listening to this, I know there's been a lot of us, and I want to just take the blame for that. I always wanted a large family. So when Stacy and I met, I said, you know, hey, I wanted to have 4 to 6 goals. That was 4 to 6 children. That was my goal in life. Okay. I wanted 4 to 6 children. It has been my most meaningful goal ever. And it's been the thing that has brought me the most joy in my life. And I am so proud of each and every one of my children and the blessings they are. Thank you all, and keep her with you. And with all of that, it is never lost on me each and every day that there are reasons why I've been as blessed as I have in that regard. And first of all, I've been very fortunate to have the most incredible parents who have always been there and always supported me. My wife has had an incredible parents who have always been there, and particularly Jean, everything that you've done for Stacy. And the foundation of our family, and I think Brittany said it, or it may have been Alexis, I don't know, one of the two of them. They weren't really good at the household chores because Stacy took care of everything. And the heart of our family, and the reason that our family is what it is because of my wife, Stacy. And I am incredibly grateful for you. Love you. With that, I do want to return to the element of cheer. And guys, I've been to a few cheer competitions. I didn't go to all of them. I know that that's a lot of mom-daughter trips and all of those things. The hotels really like it. You guys do great with all of the socializing too. But I've never heard a group of cheerleaders as quiet as I've heard this group. So a couple of times I'm going to ask you to get really loud. Forgive me, respective pastors here. You guys killed Tristan's song list, so we got to go somewhere, okay? And with that, I really want to, kind of take a step back. And I think the big thing is last Sunday, when we were missing Tristan, we reached out and we asked for help, and was completely overwhelmed, just completely and totally overwhelmed with the amount of help that we had. And the help came from a number of places. You can see we have friends who have become family, and they were there. And that allowed me to stay at home with my family while other people were searching. So to my community, I want to say thank you. The big cheer that I need everybody up there, and I would ask everybody in the room to really join me with, is from the initial start, this team over here, the St. John's Sheriff Office, they were there. It was tireless over, eventually they were told they had to take the weekend off to wait for information to come in because they were working around the clock. They have been in our homes. They've kept us apprised as we need to be apprised. But even though they were doing their job, they did their job with love and compassion towards us. And never at any point in time did I question that they were investigating and going through every single thing that they possibly could. So to all of you, on behalf of my family, we cannot thank you enough for everything that you and your colleagues have done. God bless you, and I would ask everybody to cheer these people. From there, once I realized that Tristan wasn't going to be coming home as we had hoped for, I asked for privacy. We didn't get it. I will just say that. But what we got is what we needed. And so immediately we had messages from so many people, and we had messages from many of you here in the room. Thank you. I learned something very, very difficult, and that is there are no words. When you give somebody your thoughts and prayers, you are giving them everything that you can possibly give them. And for everybody who has done that, thank you. That's all you can say. There are no words to say. There are no words that will heal it. So all of the messages that poured in from people all over the place, they helped us. Then we started to have the tributes that kind of came in. My son-in-law is a firefighter. Again, another group that doesn't get enough thanks. And another group that whenever called upon is there and taking care of our community. Case in point, I have no doubt that some of you that are here today were fighting that fire yesterday. So thank you again. Well, we've talked a lot about the Lord in here, and we've talked about God. Anyone who knows me knows that I also have strong roots in our Western heritage. I consider the mountains home. And as part of that, some of that comes to me. And there's been several things that have hit me this week. And there's one of my favorite stories that kind of goes around, and it's kind of told, and there's a question as to what tribe that it comes from, but it's typically attributed to a Cherokee tribe. And it goes somewhere along the line that a Cherokee older was sitting there talking with his grandson, and was talking to his grandson about the battle that goes on within us, and was talking about two wolves fighting. And he said, there is one wolf that is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other wolf is good. It's joy, peace and love, hope and serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. And the grandson posed the question to the elder and says, which wolf wins? And the elder's response is the one you feed. And that's what I think hit me this week. We asked for privacy. I will speak for myself and say that I was filled with sorrow. I was filled with a lot of angst. But what we received was love. And so it started almost immediately. We had family coming to town. We had friends that came over. We had people bringing us food. We had the messages. We had incredible support, people letting us know what was going on with Tristan. Monday morning, we woke up. We had an entire school, thank you, wear white to remember Tristan. There was a rock that was painted. Then later that evening, there was a vigil that I think I heard somebody said had 3,000 people in it. And in addition to that, when we couldn't attend it, we had local news that streamed it so that we could see it. We've had the support, and then it's just grown. So the North Amenity Center has become a tribute. We've seen this color all over the place. The bows, the video tributes, ribbons, again, the food coming in, Infinity Zone having things, remembering her, stickers that came in. Again, we asked for nothing, but people so wanted to give that we've been overwhelmed with contributions that have come to the community that is going to enable us to make sure we remember her name. And we're grateful for all of this. On Friday, we had probably one of the most unexpected things when a number of the streetcar clubs decided to drive through our quiet neighborhood late in the evening, teal lights all over the place. And I understand it is a group that typically doesn't get together. They are typically doing their own things, but many of them came together to drive through to pay tribute to Tristan. We've had workouts. We've had 5Ks being organized. We've had a number of businesses that have reached out to support, and many of them have asked to be anonymous. We all have benefited because we've had our colleagues step in for us and say, don't worry about anything, worry about your family. So for all of you at Brush, we appreciate it. Rob, Christy, Omar, thank you for supporting Alexis. I've had outreaches from people all over that I've worked with, but the support that I've had from my Deutsche Bank family has been absolutely incredible, and I thank you as well. And it's always about remembering this. But I've realized this is not just about support for us. It is about support for the community. It is us saying that we're all right. It is us saying that we have love, and our love is greater than the evil that can exist in the world. So last week I asked for privacy and didn't get it, yet it gave us the love and the support that we needed. Tonight I'm actually going to ask for something. So for all of you that knew Tristan, all of you that were on a team with Tristan, that were in class with Tristan, that were, on the rides and got the tea, I need you to do one thing. When things get difficult, when things are tough, when you want to achieve something, but it's challenging, I want you to hear one more additional voice in your head encouraging you forward. And you did that when we saw all the tributes that came in of the Bows last weekend, when we saw the local teams that were wearing teal, the baseball uniforms. We want you to continue that further and really take her name to heart and hear her cheering you on. So I would ask that for each of you. For everybody who's here in the audience and anybody who's watching virtually, I have another request. We've had a number of people reach out, and I've had a number of very dear friends who unfortunately are part of the same unfortunate brotherhood where they've lost children. And there's many people that have lost loved ones. Please, if you can, today, tomorrow, the next few days, give them your love, because it never goes away. They're always going to be hurting. It's always within them, and they need to feel the love that we've had an opportunity to feel this week. So please, please, please show them your love. And I would ask all of you to do that. The other thing is, as you drive around and as you see all of these ribbons, you see all the tributes that are going on, for everybody who's here, for everybody, we've heard from people in almost every state, all kinds of countries that are going on. Tristan, I guess, wanted to go viral, and she went viral. And we have a movement as a result here. But the thing that I would say is, when you see these things, recognize you're seeing expressions of love. Take that to heart. Use that to get past all the bad in the world. And one of the greatest treasures we've had is our Sunday nights. We sit down to dinner together. The electronics are off. Please find that time to sit down with your loved ones. We have too many distractions, and I think having that time is important. So I would ask you guys to also find the time to do that. With that, I want to bring the rest of the Bailey 7 up here because we need you to find the bottom of your lungs, because on 3, we're looking for a Tristyn Bailey strong. So with everything you got, 1, 2, 3.